All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our cancer survivorship call. I'm Becky Healy, and I'm a wife and a mom on a mission to help people just live inspiring lives. Today's topic is one I'm super passionate about because I walked with two family members through their cancer journeys. This afternoon, you'll hear 6 cancer stories that ended very well because of nutritional wisdom. I believe and I've seen that with the proper nutrition and lifestyle changes, your genes don't have to be your destiny. And a cancer diagnosis doesn't have to be a death sentence. So without further ado, I want to introduce my precious, amazing friend, Casey. Casey Schloss graduated with her doctorate of pharmacy from the University of Missouri, Kansas City in 2010. After graduation,
Everything go good?
could you please mute yourself,
Okay.
everybody? She practiced in community pharmacy, and her resume.
You had a good lunch, right?
Wait a second.
Rice and eggs and.
Let's see if I can mute. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. So her resume includes pharmacy manager, clinical point person, and compliance field evaluator for the greater St. Louis and surrounding regions. She led the way for initiating and implementing clinical programs in the pharmacy world and has always been forward thinking, focusing on how to be an agent of change in the world of health. After a short time as a pharmacist and not seeing enough patients improve through the traditional Western medical system, and having battled an autoimmune disease herself, Casey became passionate about prevention. She began to shift her focus to a functional approach, teaching how to heal the body through nutrition and lifestyle. Since then, she's been dedicated to educating parents how to raise healthy children and teaching families how to stay out of the pharmacy. Casey and her husband, Chris, who's also a pharmacist, have 2 healthy and happy children, Cameron and William, and they're excited to be changing some generational health stats in their own family trees. So thank you so much, Casey, for bringing your wisdom.
Thanks, Becky, and hey, everyone. Like Becky said, I'm Casey, and my educational background is that I'm a doctor of pharmacy, but about 6 years ago, I became passionate about prevention, and as a result, passionate about nutrition and the way food works synergistically in our human bodies to protect and repair the damage that's happening every day. Damage that's happening as a result of things like everyday living, things like pollutants, unhealthy foods, oxidative stress, and so much more. And so it's a natural process, but the good news is there's something we can do about it. This became a burden for me and really a passion to educate people when I learned about a few statistics about our health. And these are kind of dramatic statistics, and they were really eye-opening for me. But I'm going to share them with you now. So Americans make up somewhere between 5 to 10% of the world population, but we consume approximately 70% of the prescription drugs in the world. Yet, even despite that prescription drug usage, and consumption, Americans, about 80% of us are living with chronic diseases. And I have a friend and a mentor who explained disease as dis-ease, and it's the truth. But so much of this comes back to our lifestyle. So what are we eating, and what aren't we eating that we really need to be eating? And this led me to more of a functional pharmacy approach. And so you can think of a functional approach like a soil farmer. So they create healthy soil so that pests can't come and the weeds can't flourish. Healthy soil means that disease can't take hold. And so when we look at that approach with cancer, a functional look at it would say, yeah, maybe we do still need some conventional approaches, but what else can we do? How can we properly cultivate healthy soil? And the number one thing I learned 6 years ago when I became passionate about all of this and went from being a traditional pharmacist to some of my friends now say pharmacist, like F-A-R-M, pharmacist. And I know it's corny, but it's true. But the number one thing I learned is that we're lacking. We are lacking in our diets, and in many cases, we're dramatically lacking on fruit and vegetable consumption. And so most Americans aren't getting anywhere close to what we should be in terms of the number of servings, or even the variety of fruits and vegetables that we need every single day. And I know I wasn't. And that's when I learned about the Juice Plus company. And the Juice Plus company, I've since fallen in love with them. Their mission is to inspire healthy living. And so the products are made from juice powder concentrates, and you can see the bottles and the boxes right behind me here, but they're made from juice powder concentrates and oils from more than 40 different fruits, vegetables, and grains. And Juice Plus is not a substitute for eating fruits and vegetables. The whole food-based products support a healthy diet by offering a much wider variety, like I just mentioned, of naturally occurring vitamins, along with antioxidants and phytonutrients that are found naturally in these fruits and vegetables. Every Juice Plus product is made from quality ingredients, and I think you'll love to hear that they're grown farm fresh, providing the natural nutrients that our bodies need. And like I was saying, so many times we're really dramatically lacking on these nutrients, but each blend contains a range of nutritionally dense whole foods. So we're talking like the freshness of an orange, the ripeness of a red tomato. Just think about that. The goodness, the juiciness of blackberries, all shrunk down into convenient on-the-go solutions. And so, like I said, when I heard that, it was amazing to me. Juice Plus is not about treating or curing specific conditions or diseases. It's simply healthful, plant-based nutrition. It's highly concentrated to deliver that nutritional punch. But my favorite part, everyone, is that it's supported by over 20 years of independent clinical research. So as with everything, every person's experience varies, but here's how I look at it. Just imagine what could happen when you give your body all of these healthful, nourishing plant foods, phytonutrients, phytochemicals, micronutrients, and then there's the clinical research to back it all up. Because food is information. It's not just calories. It truly is information, but we have to be putting the right information into our bodies, and Juice Plus is a great way to do just that. So I know we want to approach this topic of cancer survivorship with a lot of humility today, because this can be a tough topic for so many. And I would venture to say that we've all been affected, like Becky said, by cancer, either personally or through a loved one. But I know you're going to be inspired by these stories today. They are truly so encouraging. And so for our first story, I'm going to hand it back over to you, Becky.
Thank you. Okay, so I'd like to tell you about two cancer journeys. My mom was the first in my family to have cancer. And after a routine checkup, a tech found a spot which was very soon identified as fallopian tube cancer stage 4. Mama had always been super healthy, taking care of herself, and had an amazing diet. But after 2 years of chemotherapy, her doctors sent her home saying that they could do no more for her. Let's see. So a friend visited her and told her about this powdered produce concept, 30 raw fruits, vegetables, and berries in capsules. She said, "Claire Francis, I have no idea what they'll do for you, but they might ease your pain." So being healthy-minded, as Mom always had been, she wanted to do anything she could to help her body. What she hadn't expected was that almost immediately she started feeling better. In a week or two, she had an appetite. Then she felt like getting up and started moving around more. Her body was actually healing. Her health returned, and she lived 8 more vibrant years, flooding her body with these fruits and vegetables, as she's always done, but with the addition of her new secret weapon. A few years later, my husband had his first colon cancer. His family on his mom's side has a genetic mutation known as Lynch's syndrome. It's killed 11 of his family members. And up till that point, Dave had been reluctant to take this powdered produce that Mom now told everybody about. But with this crisis upon him, he decided to look seriously at the research. He was absolutely astounded to see that it had more gold standard research than any pharmaceutical in the world. He was also surprised that it was in a search engine used by doctors called Medline or PubMed, and had an impact score of over 100. That really spoke to his analytical mind. He started eating Juice Plus every day. During his 6 months of chemo, he never missed a day of work, and his blood work remained really excellent. So by the time all of our kids were sponsored in the family health, by this time, they were all sponsored in the Family Healthy Starts program. And they were eating 20 raw fruits and vegetables in gummy form every day for free. None of us missed a day eating our Juice Plus. So fast forward 7 years, Dave had another cancer episode with Lynch's. Unlike the first one, which was stage 3, this one was contained and didn't require chemo. Through Mom's and Dave's cancer journeys, their immune systems became much better. Their cardiovascular health greatly improved. Their gums at their dental visits actually improved, and their skin looked younger. They had more energy, better quality sleep, the ability to handle and manage stress, kind of unlike they had done before. They didn't need the over-the-counter medications that they used to take.
But I think all that.
They were eating the fruits, vegetables.
Okay, that one's done.
Okay, hold on. Let me mute somebody. If you can mute
Don't think it's got to be cleaned on the out.
Where's
you
your
can mute
spray?
yourself, that would be
I
great.
gotta have some paper towel.
Goodness. Okay. Anyway, they were eating the fruit, vegetables and berries and Juice Plus and having a Juice Plus shake every day. After looking at the science, the best way I explain what happened in their bodies and in anyone's body when they start taking these 30 micronutrients in capsules and gummy forms and the macronutrients as well, is that your body knows what to do with the nutrients in these foods, and it's able to rise up to operate and heal like it was designed to do. At one point, my mom's oncologist noticed something very interesting when he looked through the microscope at Mama's blood work. This 3 or 4 years after she had finished chemo. He said the cancer cells that he found looked like they were actually falling on themselves, dying. He had never seen anything like this before and called it a miracle. I look back to the day that our dear friend interrupted our current health journey and shared Juice Plus with us.
I think that's on your side.
It's been the catalyst for many changes in our lives, not the least of which has been to change our tastes and habits so we're actually consuming more fruits and vegetables. The result of this one simple change of adding Juice Plus to our diets has saved us thousands of dollars, even in the first 2 years. Dave is now cancer-free, and his doctor says he has the prettiest colon in town. So now I'm going to hand it over to my friend Jane Preston, who has a truly amazing cancer victory journey.
Thanks, Becky. I love your story. It gives us all hope. Anyway, my name is Jane Preston, and I'd like to share my 39-year journey with you today. A week before my 27th birthday, I was diagnosed with breast cancer for the first time. I suspected it was hereditary because my mom died when I was 14 years old at the age of 42. I was diagnosed twice more.
It's on your side.
At age 39 and again at 51. Thankfully, all 3 were new primary stage 1 cancers, and now I'm almost 15 years cancer-free. The reason I'm telling you this is because during that time frame, I did a lot of research on ways to stay healthy, but something was obviously missing. And then 20 years ago, the answer was basically dropped in my family's lap when my niece, Lisa Turkhurst, told our family about Juice Plus. Little did she know the huge impact she would have not only on our family, but thousands of other people. With a family history of Parkinson's, diabetes, and cancer, and my personal history of cancer, it was a no-brainer to try these fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And I can't begin to tell you what a difference it's made in my life. I started feeling the benefits of getting all those fruits and veggies every single day. And my lab work improved. I had more energy. I used to have sinus infections, allergies, and constant headaches like almost every day. And I've had 2 sinus infections in 20 years. And I haven't had allergy shots in 19 years. And my headaches have been reduced by 95%. And I don't mean to brag, but I've only had the flu once since I started Juice Plus 20 years ago. I'm so thankful I don't have to take all those antibiotics or those allergy shots. And while testimonies are inspiring, Juice Plus is most proud of the highest standards of independent research to support its products. Casey's already talked about that. But in fact, it's the only whole food supplement that has third-party research. That's pretty impressive. Well, fast forward to 2005 when I was diagnosed again with breast cancer. This time I felt more armed going through this journey again. While going through chemo, I was able to do my own research with the Juice Plus. My count stayed even, and I didn't have to take those $3,000 shots to boost my immune system. I even ran/walked the Peachtree Road Race a month and a half after completing my chemo. And I know I would never have been able to accomplish that 6-mile feat the previous 2 times I had gone through chemo. No, I didn't win any awards, but I did complete the race standing up, and I've been cancer-free for almost 15 years. Well, 4 years ago, a cytologist who studies cancer cells told me I shouldn't be here with my history of cancer. She then asked how long I had been on Juice Plus, and I answered 16 years. It made me realize at that moment I had made the best decision of my life to take Juice Plus. Now, I'd like to share a bump in the road story to inspire others and let you know there is a good way to get nutrition through a feeding tube. In August of 2013, our personal world imploded when my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 throat cancer. We learned so much during this journey, but one thing I learned is you can put some amazingly healthy ingredients that you would never want by mouth in that feeding tube. And the concoction I made for Bob, it included, of course, his Juice Plus capsules and the Juice Plus Complete every single day for the next 7 months. Now he puts the capsules in his healthy shake every single morning, and he's been cancer-free for almost 7 years. And not only does my bionic man play golf 3 to 5 times a week, he works in the yard and lives a very healthy life. A few years ago, I was able to complete my first St. Jude's half marathon. Again, don't be impressed, I power walked it. The following year, I did it again. And I'm telling you this because so many friends my age and younger are having knee and hip replacements. Bob and I are so fortunate to play golf, travel, and live a very active life. It makes me wonder what my life might have been like if Juice Plus had been around when I was younger or even as a child. What if it had been available when my mom was alive? She might not have died from breast cancer, or at least she might have lived a longer life. There are so many what ifs. You and I are so fortunate to have Juice Plus now. Don't wait until you get a wake-up call. If you're not on Juice Plus, start right now, today, and get those you love on it. It's all about prevention. I always say it's better to be proactive than reactive. And the one thing I want you and others I care about is to realize, for the most part, we are in control of our health. Just so you know, we will never stop taking Juice Plus. It gives us peace of mind knowing we are giving our bodies the best available nutrition. Hopefully, we'll continue to not only fight cancer, but to keep our immune system strong enough to fight off anything else that comes our way. Thanks for letting me share our stories with you, and stay healthy. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Lucian Pereira.
Hello, my name is Lucian Poirier, and I'm recovering from being fruit, vegetable, and berry deficient. I'm also a cancer survivor. I was having issues with acid indigestion. My doctors monitored me and treated me with all kinds of prescriptions. There were many side effects, which led to more prescriptions. They didn't mention many diet changes to help my issues. Well, none of the prescriptions worked, and I progressed to GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease, and then on to Barrett's esophagus, which is a precancerous state. I also had H. pylori bacteria, which attacked my stomach lining. I also had multiple ulcers and inflammation in my esophagus. So the doctors went to work trying to clean me up. And they did. But biopsies were taken just to be safe. Within a couple of days, I received a phone call from my doctor saying a specialist needed to talk with me face to face. When we met, he told me that my biopsies came back positive. I had adenocarcinoma, esophageal cancer. I was dumbfounded. So I got a second opinion at Moffitt Cancer Center. They said that my PET scan showed cancer in my esophagus that was spreading to my right lung. It was in the lymph nodes behind my stomach. It was in my liver and in my left hip. I was stage 4. The most encouragement they could give me was that I was not a candidate for surgery. They encouraged me to get my affairs in order because they told me I had less than 6 months to live. Their plan was to send me to an oncologist for palliative treatments to see if he could prolong my life. My chances for survival were less than 5%. That was in September of 2004. We did chemo and radiation. I spent Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day getting my treatments because once you start, you just can't miss a day at all. I had another PET scan that showed me I was a candidate. That was for surgery. So that was followed by a major 10-hour surgical procedure. Today, I'm now cancer-free by the grace of God. I now have a very short esophagus and about 1/3 of my original stomach, which is now paralyzed. This causes dumping syndrome because my stomach just doesn't process food well anymore, and it just dumps down into the intestines, causing further processing problems. On top of this, I now have reactive hypoglycemia, a condition where my sugar plummets and I go into insulin shock. So I'm sure you can imagine all of this created a dietary nightmare for me. No one could really figure out how or what I was supposed to eat. I was told to eat 6 small meals a day of whatever I could tolerate. The condition I had made it hard to know what to do because I wasn't supposed to be here. So I learned by trial and error. What can I eat? How can I get my 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables? If it ain't white, it ain't right. Lactose intolerant, and the list goes on. So in 2017, I was introduced to Juice Plus because of my wife. She had heard about this salad bar in a capsule concept from a friend. We both started flooding our bodies and cells daily with Juice Plus capsules and shakes. We also started growing our own nutrient-dense produce with our tower gardens, and we started taking the plant-based omegas. By this one simple change of adding Juice Plus to our diets, we are bridging the gap between what our bodies desperately needed to heal and live well and what we actually need to eat every day. Our lives are totally different now. I'm so thankful that my horrible health journey has been replaced with this inspiring one where I get to wake up with passion and purpose daily, looking forward to inspiring others. I pray that my journey has inspired you. So thank you for letting me speak. And with that, I will introduce my lovely wife sitting right next to me here. And her name is Jelaine. So she has the stage.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jalene Poirier. I am a breast cancer survivor, and here is my story. My breast cancer journey started in October of 2016. Upon receiving my prescription for a mammogram, I placed it in my napkin holder on the table for some day in the future when I would have time. You see, at this time, I was also dealing with tick, Lyme disease, lupus, severe rheumatoid arthritis, a compression fracture in my spine, and extremely severe osteoporosis. So this was super low on my priority list, as you can see. I finally took the time to go get my mammogram on November 28th of 2016. I received a letter December 27th of 2016 saying that more imaging was needed. Further imaging revealed that I had breast cancer. Over the next 4 months, I had 4 surgeries trying to get clean margins. The 5th surgery and the final surgery would be a bilateral mastectomy. After that, my surgery, I was laying in my hospital room praying for strength and for wisdom. I decided that I was not going back on any medication at all, not if I had anything to say about it. You see, with all the issues I had, with the extreme pain I was taking a lot of mainstream medications to help all my medical problems. So from my hospital room, I called Valerie Schumacher and asked her to come over to my home on the day that I arrived home from the hospital. I wanted her to order me a tower garden and all the things she had that I really didn't know anything about. This was my chosen vehicle to accomplish my goal. She asked me if I was sure that I wanted her to come on the day that I returned home. I said absolutely. I wanted to get started without delay. My order was put in. I couldn't wait to start on this journey. I was now equipped with 30 whole fruits, vegetables, and berries in a capsule. I had my arsenal to fight my battle. The capsules, complete shakes, bars, and a tower garden. Now, on my first visit back to my rheumatologist, he was all prepared to get all my medications back in line. You see, he knew and he cared a lot for me. He let me know that my medical issues were very severe and aggressive. I still had stitches and tubes hanging out of me. I told him I wasn't prepared for these medications. He gave me the concerned doctor talk and what would happen if I didn't start right away. I told him what I was going to do, and he said that he wasn't really behind me in that. But he believed I really needed to resume my medications. Without them, I would face great bone destruction and other issues. However, he agreed to watch me and give me all my marker tests. Each time I would go into the office, he would educate me with the chances I was taking. So, fast forward to 3.5 years, I am cancer free by the grace of God. I have remained off all medications. No, now my bone scans come back with osteopenia, which is an absolute miracle. My rheumatoid arthritis levels are starting to go down. I still have flare-ups, but I'm not in bed for 4 to 5 days at a time like I used to be. Now I am being mended and healed from the inside out, thanks to Juice Plus and all the amazing fresh, organic, heirloom, and non-GMO produce that we harvest from our tower gardens. I am very, very grateful for all my progress and look forward to much more. If you are in pain, or you have cancer, or other medical issues, it is extremely important to feed your body whole, live food so it can heal itself. If you don't have many medical issues, it is important you feed your body whole, live food for longevity and immunity. The synergy of these rich nutrient dense foods is my body has absolutely revolutionized my health and that of my family. You see, two things I've learned in this journey. Because of the growing practices in America, our food no longer is nutrient dense. And because we live in a toxic planet, we all need that help we can get. So we are vitamin deficient, and we are not vitamin deficient, we are whole food deficient. I would like to invite you to come join us on this healthy living revolution and interrupt your current health journey with more inspiring one. Thank you for listening to my story. My hope is that this has brought you some encouragement and power to you. The power to make one simple change. So I just want you to know, I want you to live, laugh, and garden, and may God bless you.
Oh, I love it, Jelaine. Wow. Thank you so much, Becky and Jane and Lucian and Jelaine, for courageously sharing your stories with us today. I saw some of us had tears rolling down our faces. I mean, these were just really incredible stories, and I know it took courage to share them. So thank you. And everyone who joined us, I hope this call has inspired you, empowered you, and maybe even helped provide some education to equip you really on such an important topic. And I know we can't control everything in our lives, but there certainly are things that we can do to help protect our bodies and our families' bodies. I'm reminded often that we cannot feel disease coming on. So I just encourage all of us, even myself, to let's do everything we can to be those really great soil farmers for our bodies, like I touched on earlier. Let's create our own internal healthy soil so pests can't come, weeds can't flourish, so that dis-ease cannot take hold. And remember, it's never too late to start making these healthy deposits in your body every single day. So thank you all so much for joining us. And I encourage you to get with the person who invited you so that you can learn more about making this one simple change toward better health. And as we close out, some of us are happy to stay here on the line after the recording stops so that we can answer any questions that you might have.